How's it going, guys? I hope you are all doing well out there today, wherever you are in the world. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the brand new Wampler Pantheon Deluxe. If you're familiar with the original Pantheon, it was Brian's take on that classic Marshall Bluesbreaker style circuit. That circuit's kind of become ubiquitous now on many people's pedal boards, and the Pantheon really took it above and beyond what the original could do. The Deluxe has two sides, so dual Pantheon circuits, both with their own individual bass, treble, volume and gain. You've then got a global presence. The presence, you want to start with it all the way down. To me, it's more of a dialing it in for your particular amp. If you're lacking a little bit of brightness, you can dial it in. I like it pretty low for most of the amps I've tried it in, and the manual says to start low as well, so it's more of a fine tuning type thing. The two sides are voiced ever so slightly differently. So channel 1 is voiced slightly more towards the original Bluesbreaker, and channel 2 slightly more to where the King of Tone sits. For each side, you've then got a voicing switch, which down is soft clipping, in the middle is a mixture of hard and soft clipping, and then up is hard clipping. And then for gain level, you've got low, mid and high working your way up. And on the high gain setting, it goes way above and beyond any kind of Bluesbreaker pedals that I've tried as far as gain. You've got an order switch here, which lets you select 1 into 2 or 2 into 1. And you've also got individual ins and outs for each side. So if you're running a switcher, you can use them independently. Also, it lets you put a pedal in the middle of the two sides if you should wish to. The feature for me that really sets this apart is it has MIDI switching built in. So it's not digital or anything. This acts like a normal pedal. The MIDI just takes care of switching on and off either side, and it's so easy to do. So I've got it set up with a really basic Roland MIDI foot controller. And if you see, as I scroll through, it's switching channel 1, channel 2, or both on together. And the cool thing about this is you can jump straight from having one side on to both and off. If I was doing that manually on the pedal, there'd be a lot of tap dancing going on. And it's so easy to program as well. So if I select what I want on, so say I wanted both sides, all I do is hold down channel 1 until the LEDs flash, select my program change from my MIDI controller. I've just got a really basic Roland MIDI pedal on the floor, and double flashes, and then it's saved. So I can jump from bypass to both sides on that preset we've just created, and it is really that simple. So this is how I would set it up. I've got it plugged into my Vox AC15 at the moment, which sounds like this. So I've got it set up so that channel 1 is sort of a first stage overdrive, just takes the amp a little bit more. Channel 2 is a nice crunch sound, and then I've got them both together for more of a lead kind of sound. So I'll just take you through that now. So a real nice range of drive sounds that, I mean, that would get me through a gig, no problem, just those 4 sounds. Let's just show off a bit of channel 1 now. And it gets that real kind of spanky kind of thing. It lets the sound of the guitar come through. So just so you know, I've got the voicing switch set up in the bottom position, so soft clipping, and then I've got the gain level all the way down for this one. So it really lets the sound of the guitar come through, and really dynamic. To me, in the lower gain level kind of thing, that's more in line with what the original Bluesbreaker had gain range wise. So if I switch to the medium gain level now, which is in my as memory serves, way more gain than the original Bluesbreaker had, and obviously the gain's only halfway up. If you take it to the high gain, it's now way beyond what the Bluesbreaker could do. And then with the voicing switch, we can go to hard clipping. Which smooths everything out, especially if you're using the higher gain mode. And obviously there's still way more gain on tap, so I'll show you the full range of the gain. So tons of gain on tap. I'll put it back to the mid section now. And then you've also got the option of hard and soft clipping together. So we've got hard clipping, soft clipping, sort of clearer, and then in the middle you've got a mix of both. And obviously the EQ, you've got a massive sweep on there. Midday is about unity, like flat. And it's super handy having that bass on there, because the original Bluesbreaker circuit just had a tone control, and it did get fairly mushy at higher gain levels, whereas you can clean this right up with the bass control. Obviously, as I mentioned, you've got the presence control there, which is sort of a master EQ for the amp. For this particular amp, I like it pretty low, just barely opened up, but it just kind of opens up the top end a little bit. So for that, my particular amp, AC15, I like it pretty low. And then channel 2 is very much the same. I'll just show you a few sounds from channel 2. I would say channel 2's sonic signature is perhaps a little more open sounding than channel 1, but they are very closely related. So that's now a mixture of hard clipping and soft clipping, and I believe that that is kind of what's going on in the King of Tone, and this side is voiced slightly more towards the King of Tone. So I would say this is kind of more King of Tone-esque if you're going after that kind of thing. this kind of circuit just is so reactive to your volume control on the guitar. So it's set up for sort of a crunch now. So you've got a full range there just from the volume control on your guitar. Obviously this side can get a pretty high gain as well. We're in the mid gain level at the moment. And then you've got the high gain level as well. And then you've obviously got the option to stack them together. So if you know about pedal order and gain staging, you'll know that the order of things when it comes to overdrives and distortions really changes how things react, but also sound depending on what's being run into what when they're stacked up together. This lets you choose the order, so you can really change that. And because of how flexible these are with the gain level, you can set one side up for a boost, one for a drive, and then depending on if you put the boost before or after, you'll either boost the gain level or boost the volume. You could set them both up as overdrives. You can. It's a really flexible pedal. Like I said, I could do a full gig just with this pedal on its own. So that was a look at the new Wampler Pantheon Deluxe. I think it's definitely one of the most feature-rich overdrive pedals I've ever played, and it has all those features without getting confusing and crowded, and the MIDI switching just takes it over the edge for me. This would be such a versatile pedal to include on the rig, and like I've said a few times in this video, I think I could just pick this pedal up, take it, and whatever amp I get at the other end, I'd be able to do the whole gig just with this one pedal. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video or any of my other stuff, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help me out. Whatever you're doing with the rest of the day, I hope it's great, and I'll see you again in another video soon. Cheers guys.